No! The Sharingan revived! I can see!
What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Christian here again with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about the most hated mechanic in Sparking Zero. Now I hope you like that intro because I just showed off how you can use perception even after nerf. And this mechanic was so hated that it got nerfed like 6 different ways, and people still came after me when I said that the nerfs might have been a bit excessive, okay? I gotta admit when I'm wrong, so you guys might have been right. Perception might be in the best state that it's ever been because now it actually takes a little bit of skill to use. And I'm gonna show it off in this video and show you how you can add it back into your repertoire to get wins in neutral. So probably the worst way to use perception is using raw in neutral while the opponent is facing you. Why? Because it's never been easier to punish perception. After nerf, the protection window has been narrowed and the end lag just leaves you exposed for a long time. Not to mention that if you're caught with less than 2 skill points, the opponent could just light smash through your perception. So using perception is a risky move now, and using it during sidestep battles is also kind of dangerous because your opponent could just step sweep you and activate your super perception. And again, if you have less than 2 skill points, it'll just go right through the perception. So when is it the best time to use perception, in my opinion, is during punch vanish battles, because once your opponent vanishes, his options are pretty limited. He can't really light smash out of a vanish unless he waits for a split second. And that usually gives you enough time to kind of reset your position after a perception. So the way that I set it up, basically I put my opponent in a disadvantageous position, basically where he's not facing me, and what people like to do is punch vanish out of that lack of positioning right back into your face. And a lot of the times people feel the pressure and just want to strike you either with a punch sweep or another punch vanish, and that's where you can activate your perception and set traps for them if they want to be hyper aggressive, okay? And a lot of people just have that punch vanish escape built into their muscle memory, so they'll get caught by that perception often even when they don't want to. And then once you have them conditioned to be scared of the perception, then you can mix up the options and go for step in sweeps or reset position into your own punch sweep way easier, because they're gonna have to be way more careful engaging after a vanish. So basically perception can be a counter to punch vanish spam, which is great because back in the day there was no real counter to it and people were just punch vanishing spamming into their neutral wins, which now you really can't do that because the vanishes have been nerfed as well, so they are kind of slow. You can't just act out of a vanish really quickly anymore, so perception could be an answer to punch vanish spam. You're probably wondering, Christian, where did you learn this? Did you lab this in training mode? And no, bro, like literally you could go to quick play and just test anything you want against live opponents, which is way better than training in my opinion. And a major reason why people don't do that is because they just refuse to slow down their gameplay and they want to win so freaking bad they don't learn anything. So They don't learn new tactics because they want to win so bad. And that is the reason why a lot of people don't improve in this game, is because they sweat way too hard. Like 80% of the time I play in quick play matches, I'm not trying 100%. I'm usually just trying stuff out. I'm relatively trying hard, but I'm not gonna lie, like the ultimate point is to take skills with me, not actually win the match. Like if I win or lose really doesn't matter at the end of the day. That's why when I get hit with sparking ultimates at the end of matches and stuff like that, like it doesn't really trigger me, because overall, if I was dominating the entire match, then really the end result really doesn't matter. And someone in the comment section asked me to make a defense guide. And I told them that it's kind of hard to make a defense guide because a lot of it is net based and timing based. But what I can say is that if you want to practice your defense, just go to quick play, pick a semi-strong character like I'm doing here with like Gogeta or Gotenks or whatever, and just limit your skill use. Don't use Spark, and just practice defense on live opponents. That is probably the best thing you could do, because you got to get used to adapting to the inconsistent netcode, essentially, where timings change based on what map or who you're playing. And people who are good with defense are just good at adapting to that change. That's why they can be consistent regardless of the connection. Okay, so that's what you have to practice. I recommend you just go to quick play and practice that if you want to get better at defense. Now, as far as the perception nerf, not being able to activate it off a guard was more of a nerf to guard itself than perception. And narrowing the protection window was kind of like a change that I always thought was necessary. So actually perception might finally be in its right spot. Also, having it be so weak actually makes it pretty rewarding to use now, and it actually feels like you outplayed your opponent and set traps for your opponent when it's successful. So perception might be in the best spot it's ever been, but now that a lot of things in the game have been nerfed, I would like to see some things get buffed over time and not nerfed. For example, the super scaling nerf was excessive, so I'd like that to be toned down. And grabs have desperately needed a buff since launch, so maybe we can buff grabs a little bit against perception, or even don't allow people to mash out of a grab for so long. And I really would like multiple charge key blasts to come back, so the characters that really rely on those key blasts to do combos and start offense can be more viable again. Like I mentioned before, it's not the one nerf to perception that made the game feel bland, it's the collective sum of all the nerfs in one patch that made it feel like the game just got put on shackles. So I would like those shackles to slowly come off the game. I don't want the game to be a broken mess like it was at launch, but I do want it to be a little bit more exciting, and some offensive options need to be fixed or buffed in order to achieve that. Like I mentioned before, one of the greatest issues with this game is recovery. So until recovery is addressed, a lot of this stuff is going to feel cheese, because we don't have an option to get out of certain stuff because of the lack of recovery options. So hopefully Bandai adds some recovery options over time and buffs some offensive capabilities in the game, so that we could have a little bit more fun balanced in with the structure that they added in this patch. Okay, if you like this video, go ahead and like and sub. Let me know if the perception tips helped you in neutral, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.